starting with a small recap, actually, seeing some functions and how we are going to call them. Then after we'll go deep using the using the pointers to allocate memory spaces in different ways. Immediately, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna share with you on my screen where my let's say compiler is. The first task is asking us to calculate. The first task is asking us. I'm gonna share the guide with you first of all. Let's share it once to be recorded. Yes. So the first task is asking us to calculate the square area using functions. We have 8 tasks we are going to solve today, inshallah. Yes. So task number 1 is asking us to calculate the square area using functions. Very straight away. I'm gonna share. Yes.
ما وصلني في الإيميل الملف.
لا وصل موجود ادخل على كلاس روم تحصلي. نهاد. You are the one speaking.
موجود في
عبير
كلاس
عبير
روم.
موجود في كلاس روم. You get it in class room. Yeah. Even إذا ما وصل الإيميل في الكلاس روم it's available. Good. Compiler. Did you start seeing my window? Actually, my very famous method, which is the main. Inside of the main, we'll do the call only, since it is requesting us to use functions to calculate the square area.
مستر ممكن
Yes.
رابط الموقع.
Compiler is the same. Yeah, absolutely. I'll do. I'll share it with you now. The same compiler for usual. Great. So the purpose is to calculating square area. The rules have for calculating the square area is multiplying the SQ area walls, for example, code multiplied by code, let's say, or just side by side, whatever, multiplied by side. Sorry, side multiplied by side. Yeah, something like that. So this is the rule we're going to apply. This is the math rule we're going to apply today. I'm going to generate a method. It would be actually a procedure, so void data type. I'm going to say SQ area. I'm going to not use any parameter in between. Yes, this is the body of the skeleton of this square area method, which is a procedure. I'm going to declare the first, let's say, double, the first variable, double, I'm going to say side, S, it's enough. And then after I'm going to say S area, and let's declare them both together. SA. S is side of the square, and S area is the result. So SA capital equals S multiplied by S. Full stop. 1S. Here we are getting the doing the math. Just making a cout print. Cout.
مستر لو سمحت كبر الشاشة ما يوضح.
Yes, sure. The square area, sorry. the square area is, let's say, less than SA, less than and L. Semicolon, full stop. Very good. Here inside the main, I pass to the main. What should I do? I just have to call this method. It's procedure, so just I copy paste the method with the simple parenthesis, semicolon, semicolon. Return 0 to fulfill the need of the compiler and the int other data type for this main. Execute. The square area is 0. Why? Because we did not initialize those two. So I'm going to add something actually here before the math, cout, this is cout, under the side size, less than is an and L. Good. Scene. I'm going to say S. That's it. Okay, execute again. So he's saying enter the side, and immediately he passes to the square area. So there's a problem here. I seem to be to pass to the next compiler. I tell you what, I'll make it static. To avoid this issue, the compiler issue, whatever. I'm going to say S equals 5.5. Semicolon. I'm statically initializing this S. Then after execute, yes, the square area is 30.25. I'm going to change the size to make it simple too. It has to give me 4 as a result. So the square area is, yes, it's 4. So 2 by 2 is 4. I'm going to say 5 to make it more readable. 5 by 5, 25. Yes, 25. Absolutely true. That's great. Nothing I'm doing. I have a first method. Then after I have the main where I'm calling the declared method to calculate the square area. So I give you just a few minutes to practice. Are you doing the thing with me or not in parallel?
No, mister.
Shall I wait you? Shall I
get it.
Shall I wait for you a little bit? Or shall I continue?
Excellent.
هل أعطيكم وقت للتنفيذ أو أواصل أو ماذا؟
No, دكتور, give me time.
ما سمعت الشداء.
أعطينا وقت.
Okay. Okay, good. Yes, that's great. So hurry up, don't waste time, huh? Because this is very easy. We did something similar last week. If you have an error, tell me. If you receive an error, just tell me.
Mister, I get output. Please.
You got the same output? That's good. That's good. Only if you have an error. Done. Yes. Okay. Okay. Great. I keep going on. I'm gonna actually I'm gonna make the first modification to this the same program, the same task, calculate the square area using a method. I'm going to change this procedure. This is a procedure, remember, this is procedure. Because we do not have any return, it makes a process and it stops there. It does not make a return. It's a procedure. I'm going to make a modification to this procedure to return it, to change it to a function. And thus we see the consequences. This is a procedure. No, we are going to use a method, which is, sorry, we're going to use a function. So the data type and return, it has to be something different than void. Let's say it's double. Let's say it's double, since we may use double here. So the calculation would be a double, and thus the return has to be a double only, cannot be something different. It's actually, it has, let it be compatible, and that's it. So only I changed the data type here. Now I'm gonna delete this cout. I'm gonna completely take it out. So only we have here this process, and instead of the cout, I'm gonna make return. Return what? SA. Semicolon. So I'm returning the calculated value in return to this return of this, let's say, procedure. Sorry, it was procedure of this method, which is now a function. Now this is a function. It's not a procedure because we have a return. The data type return is double. It's not void. So this is a function. Hey, okay, that's all we can do here. If we execute, what would happen? Nothing. We will not have any error. We will not have any output also at the same time. There is no output. We have no cout. Let's try. See what I'm going to do. Inside the main, the cout we took off from this method here. I'm putting here the square area is SA. This SA is from the function. We cannot utilize it in local here in main. We cannot. This is declared, the SA is declared locally in the square, so we cannot use it here. What I'm going to do, cout, the square area is not SA, but this method fully. Control X, cut, delete this SA, paste the square area, no semicolon, and now execute. Now I'm going to execute. So see here, I'm going to execute now. The square area is 25. The same result. Completely different, but the same result. If I change this 5 to any number, for example 10, it has to give me 100. 10 by 10 is 100. Execute. Yes, it's 100. Absolutely. If I give 2, for example, it has to give 4. 2 by 2 is 4. Yes, it is 4. That's great. That's great. So it works very fine. Generate a second program, please. Copy, paste, and modify. Second program, don't delete. You have to save your program as a second. Here, area, using a function. Using a function. And the title, I'm changing to indicate that we are using a function. Please hurry up, hurry up. Did you finish?
Yes, finish, miss.
Yes, great. So let's keep going on to the next task. Task number 2 is asking us to create a program, C++ program, to calculate the area of a square using functions, but we have to use the feature pass by value. We have to use the pass by value feature. Means the method we are going to modify to pass by value. So we're going to do the same task as we are seeing here. So to answer this task number 2, the same program I'm going to utilize, except of some modification we'll bring. So we need to use a parameter, a parameterized method. He's saying function, so parameterized function. We have only one function. It's the one that we have to utilize. I'm gonna declare the variable side double s here, double s here, and I'm gonna take it out from here. I do not need it. Full stop. Full stop. That's it. I'm gonna declare the variable side inside the parameters area in the square area method, which is a function, and that's it. That's all. That's all I'm gonna do. What would we do inside the main here? Should we modify anything? Absolutely, because here we're declaring a double. We have to pass the value here. We have to pass the value here. So here I'm going to say what is the value. It has to be any number, but from the double type, data type. I'm going to say, for example, 2.2, something like that. Come on. As per example only. It's just a type of example. I'm going to execute. Yeah, he's saying for here. What is the point? Is the point by he's returning. I'm going to change this one to decimal, and let's see this decimal. I'll see this compiler. Let's see decimal. Yeah, I have another typo. Change it to float. Yes, recognized. Okay. The area is for still. He's not bringing any floating value. It's very okay. I don't care if I change. Yeah, absolutely. Square area because we are re-initializing the value to 2 here. See the mistake I'm doing. I forgot this initialization of this s here. We don't need it here because we are going to pass the value here. So no s here, no s, no initialization. Sorry, here, only here. So let's execute now. 12.8. That's great. I return this one to be double again. So yes, 4.84. That's great. If I change it to any other number, for example, 5.5, it has to give me 3 to 5. I'm going to say 5.5, 30 point something, 30.25, I believe. Let's execute. Yes, 30.25, absolutely true. So that's the solution of creating the C++ program to calculate the area, but using a method with the feature pass by value. With the feature pass by value, this is the value to pass. Please write the program and comment it. See, pass the value as a parameter. As a parameter. That's it. Great. Solve your program, please. Do it. 1 minute, very quickly. Did you finish? The same output and the same body solution?
Yes, Mr. Finish.
That's
Same
good.
output.
Great. Task number 3. Uh, we're going to calculate the area of a triangle now. Task number 3, the area of a triangle. Same using functions. And the feature is pass by address now. Pass by address. Pass by address. Let's solve that. First of all, the calculation of the triangle here. He's saying triangle using the function, yes. So triangle, let's say triangle tr area equals what? What is the rule here? تفضلها على 2. What is the triangle area? Triangle rule. هذا كنت على 2. That's good. It's in English. Base by height by 2. Let's say base multiplied by height divided by 2. Very easy. English nominations. Great. So we are going to apply this rule, no more, no less. So I'm going to change the name completely. Let's do it again together to make you memorize more. So I'm going to use the double as the data type the same because there are frictions here. Triangle, let's say area. Here I'm going to start the method. I'm going to use passing by reference. We'll see later. We'll see later what to do. Okay. I'm going to declare a double. Double would be base, height, comma, TRA. Good. So, starting by initialization, B equal, let's say base, let's say 5. 1 unique equal. That's okay. Height equals, let's say 6. And then after our rule, TRA equals B multiplied by H divided by 2. No more, no less. Semicolon. Very easy. Since it is a method, this is a function, sorry, I'm going to make a return. 1. Return what? TRA. Should I do anything here? Absolutely yes. Triangle area. That's great. Should I pass any values here? For now, no. And no. Why? Because we do not have anything here. Let's execute that. Let's pass the value by, there is no pass here. Okay, that's it. Here, triangle area, the triangle area is execute. The triangle area is 15. Why 15? Because 5 by 6 is 30, by 2 is 15. Absolutely true. Let's change this one to 6. 6 by 6 is 36, by 2 is 18. Great. It's very easy. Let's take small numbers. For example, 2 and 3. 3 by 2, 6 by 2 is 3, so it's 3. That's great. It works very fine. Execute this thing until and let's pass to the next. Let's say the second solution, which is passing by address. Execute this thing, please. Did you finish? This is a new program.
No, Mister.
Please hurry up. Yeah, hurry up. Okay. Yes, you did it.
Yes, Mister. I get.
Okay, everybody. Are you here, everybody?
Yes, Mister, we finished.
That's great. That's great. So calculate the triangle area. The task clearly is asking us to do it actually using a function. Yes, but also pass refer to the feature pass by address. Good. So to pass the address, we saw last class we can pass the address if you are allocating space or allocating something in the memory. Uh, we have to say something like this, for example, instead of uh, displaying where it is, guess this TRI. I'm gonna, for example, return the address of the TR area, for example. I say, regardless. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna declare those two variables, not here, but I'm gonna declare them as parameters inside the triangle. Let's say parameters area. I'm gonna say double B, B not D, and double. Let's say another double, which is H. Let's say the same thing. I'm going to delete them from here. Yes. Great. So double B, double H. And to be able later on to use the address easily, I'm going to specify them as pointers. Pointer, not pointer. Okay, great. What am I doing here? Am I going to utilize the pointers, something, whatever, regardless. I come to the main here, خلاص, from here, I do not need anything. We already have the thing done. Just I'm gonna, we'll see the result here. Just I'm gonna pass to the main. Here inside the parameters area, I'm gonna, since the triangle area declared here, it holds two parameters here. So we have to call it with two parameters also. But the parameters they are two pointers. What should I do? What should I type here? What should I type? I may type numbers, but I'm not going to do, because we need to fulfill this feature, which is passed by address. So I'm going to declare double. I'm going to say A and Z, whatever, or Z and T. Let's use something different. Z and T. Any numbers. any numbers. So I'm going to say Z equals 6, P equals, let's say 2, whatever. Numbers, that's it. They are from the double, they are like in, but they are double also, they might be. Here, what I'm going to do here in parameters, I'm going to pass the address of the Z and the address of the T. Here in parameter, I'm going to say address of Z, comma, second parameter, address of T. Pass the addresses now. Let's execute and see the result. We have an error. Yes, the error is here. The error is here. So I'm going to say here, actually, because they are pointers, so I'm going to say the content of B and the content of H, like they are pointers, so I'm using them as pointers. Let's execute again. The triangle area is 6. 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. Divided by 2 is 6. Let's change the numbers. I'm going to say Z is 9. 9. And T is, let's say, 4. 9 by 4 is 36. Divided by 2 is 18. It's 18. Absolutely true. It's true. So it works very fine. And those are the addresses we passed. So we fulfilled the feature also. If you don't have any questions, please execute that. If you don't have any requests, if it's clear, execute, please.
مستر لو سمحت
Yes, tell me.
لو سمحت عندي سؤال.
Yeah, absolutely.
وش الفرق بين البي وستار بي؟ يعني ستار مو فرق فيها، وش تاني؟
شايفة في بي هنا ولا تتكلمي على البي نفسها هذه؟
أيوة هذه، يعني ليش نسوي ستار؟
جميل جميل. Last class أنت باختصار هو الستار. We mean by the star we talk about a pointer. There is something nominated pointer. في شيء يسمى pointer. The pointer is something actually it's like the word means we are pointing to something. نوجه رأس القراءة في الذاكرة إلى we are pointing the head of reading in the memory to something. In this case, the pointer is named B. اسم نقطة القراءة اسمها B. And this نقطة القراءة محتواها النجمة، محتواها من نوع double. خلاصة ماذا يعني؟ When we write double B, for example, or when we write, for example, yes, for example, here, just here, I type in a new line. For example, I write double, or int, or float, or whatever, star, var, any name. Does means we are allocating in the memory. We are allocating in the memory a space من نوع double. محتواه سيأتي فيما بعد. حجزنا مساحة في الذاكرة محتواها من نوع دبل ولكن ايش هو المحتوى؟ سيأتي فيما بعد. محتوى نرمز إليه بالنجم، وكأننا نقول محتوى الفار، محتوى هي النجمة، الفار هو من نوع دبل. الفار هي المساحة، اسم المساحة التي تم حجزها في الذاكرة. نهاية الأمر أي وضع أن نحجز مباشرة القيمة، نحط القيمة نكتبها في الذاكرة، لا، حجزنا مساحة وتركناها فاضية. البوينتر هي رأس قراءة داخل الذاكرة بهذا المعنى. نقرأ بشكل ثاني أبسط. محتوى البي هي النجمة بي من نوع دبل. في هذا النموذج محتوى البي إيش هو؟ هو ما تم الترميز إليه بالعنوان زد اللي هي 9. عنوان زد هي 9. محتوى البي ما يوجد في العنوان ادرس، عنوان المتغيرة زد، وعنوان الزد هي الزد، ومحتواها ايش؟ 9. إذا رأس القراءة موجه إلى عنوان الزد، وعنوان الزد ماذا فيه؟ 9. انتهى الأمر. نجمة هي المحتوى، والأمبرسنت هي العنوان. لماذا نرمز برموز هذه ولا نكتب مباشرة مثل هذا، مثلا z يساوي 9 و t يساوي، ونكتب b يساوي و c يساوي. Why? Because we are allocating, we are talking about memory allocation here. There is نحجز في مساحات في الذاكرة. البرامج ستتعقد وتكبر ونحتاج مساحات مخصصة. So لحجز المساحات داخل الذاكرة the pointers they come to action. I hope it's clear. Please execute, and if you have any error, let me see, please.
مستر
Yes.
في البي ستار لازم نستخدم الستار بار.
ما في بي ستار، ما فيش اسمه بي ستار، في ستار بي.
ستار بي.
اي ايش السؤال؟ what's your question؟
ستار بي لازم نستخدم ستار بار تحت.
هذه
يس.
no هذه استخدمتها only for explanation. I'm sorry. No. استخدمتها فقط للشرح.
Mr. Finish, I get output.
The same.
Yes.
That's great. خلاص. The others? You got the same output, everybody?
Yes.
Yes, great. So, great, then great, then great. Question number 4, I believe. Yes, question number 4. Create C++ program to calculate the average of integer numbers stored in an array using functions. So we are going to calculate the average of arrays using functions, no more, no less. Very easy. So I'm gonna rebuild everything. The topic is calculate the. There is a typo here. Come on, I need to write it in small better. Average an array integers. Good. Calculate the average of an array integers. An array of integers. Better. Good. Immediately, my int main. I'm gonna start here, close here. But he's saying that we have to use a function. So let's do that. So I'm gonna say function. So it's a data type, not void. Int. Let's say avg. Let's say array. Start here, close here, and here I'm gonna declare an array of int. I'm gonna say int max. For example, whatever. I'm not gonna give any size, so I'm gonna declare the values and initialize immediately. Here 5, 6. Let's give real numbers. 90, 85, 75, 66, 95. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's enough. It's enough as values. So I declared and initialized an array. It's an array of ints. Here I'm going to calculate. I'm going to do the average. So what should I do? I'm going to refer to a loop for. Here I'm going to declare a count or an index that starts from 0 and stops at 5. So we may say that the max length, but here I'm going to use 5 because the number is very small and we know that. I plus plus. Close the parents, and then after we do the process. What is the process? I'm going to declare an say sum in sum, where we're going to calculate the sum, and then after double, let's say ABG. So here we're going to calculate the sum of those numbers, and here we're going to finalize the average. And later on we'll change this one because the average would be with fractions, seems to be. I'm going to say sum. I'm going to say sum. Yes, sum. I'm going to say sum plus equal max at the position I. Full stop. Inside the sum, I'm adding recursively, not recursively, but repeatedly, the content of the max area at the position I, starting from 0 until 4, less than strict 5. What should I do here? I have to initialize the sum with 0, equals 0 to avoid any memory problems. Yes, I'm going to check only if there is any error in the syntax. Nothing, no error, so very fine. That's great. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring the output here. So just return. No, before the return, we have to do the calculation. So better. ABJ becomes sum divided by what? 5, the number of elements. نفس الخمسة is this one, is this one, is the number of the elements of the array. How many are they? So 5. Great. So here, no, there, return what? ABG. Very easy. So we come to the main and we bring the output. مباشرة see out the average value of the array is double quotation less than what? The method itself, because we have a return. Copy, paste, less than, new line. Return 0. A famous memory escape. Okay. Execute. I have an error. I have an error. What is he doing? He's saying the average value is see out. Yes, there is right here. Yes. Great. Execute. The average value of the array is 82. Great. I think it's correct. Okay, let's use the small numbers to be able to calculate. 2, 3, 6, 1, and 5. It's okay. So 2 plus 3, 5 plus 6, 11 plus 1, 12 plus 5, 17, 17.5 means 3 point something. Great. 3. That's great. Why? Because we are setting it as int. So to get the 3 point correct with decimals, we have to change this one to double, like the average. Double, the same. Less, I only change this one to double. Execute. 3 point, still is only 3. He's saying only 3. Saying only 3. Some because, yeah, because, no, there is no, yeah. There is no, yeah. Let's change those numbers. Let's say this 1, 2, 3, for example. There is something that has to be changed. Int, okay, int, okay. The average is double. Return double. Doesn't have any. Whatever. Regardless, here we have the calculation that works very fine. I don't know if I'm missing something in between, but regardless, actually the process has been achieved. Please execute this program and hurry up. Please execute this program and hurry up. The task is asking us to number store user function. Yes, that's it. That's the full solution. You got the output?
Finish, mister.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Anybody wants to share his screen with me? Task number, how much? Create C++ to calculate the average of integer stored. Define a function that has an array of parameter. A function that has an array. Okay, so number 6 now. Task number 6. Create C++ program to allocate memory space for a double value. Create a C++ program to allocate a memory space for a double value. You see the question. Number 6. Let's do that. So we are going to generate a program C++ based that allocates a space in memory, one space, just simply. It is like that for a double. Simply from the beginning. Let's do that. So allocate a space, a memory, a space in memory. Let's say space. Say yes in memory for double. That's great. So here I'm not required to use the method, so immediately I'm going to refer to my main. Double, so double. I'm going to say star pointer p, whatever, or PTR, for example, PTR pointer shortcut. So to allocate, actually, we are stating, we are declaring here. So I'm gonna just test if it is not allocated, if it is allocated or not. No more, no less. We are not required to initialize. I may give any value for this thing, but for now, I'm gonna make a test. Plus, actually, like this, we allocated the space. Very easy. That's it. No errors. But then after, I'm gonna make a test. I'm gonna make a test if this space has been allocated or not. If not, there is no test before I do anything. Let's make it more easy. So I'm gonna I'm gonna declare that I'm allocating the memory space. So pointer equals new double. I'm specifying specifically that we are allocating a space from a space for a double, specifically for the data type double, no more, no less. Execute again. Still no errors, means we are correctly specifying that the space has been reserved for the variable pointer من نوع double, from the data type double, no more, no less. Now, actually, after that, خلاص, we allocate it. What should we do? The program is asking us just to allocate. Nothing to do, but just I'm going to add this statement to test that the space has been allocated truly or not. So I'm going to modify this thing. I'm going to say if this one, okay, there is no semicolon, حذفت الفاصلة المنقوطة. If what should I do? Let it make it more efficient. If not allocated, let's say cout less than, let's say space not allocated. I'm gonna actually allocated. Okay, great. Less than, it's an ender. Good. Here, else cout, let's say cout less than space for a double allocated. Great, that's it. Less than, it's an ender. Good. So let's execute. And I'll explain again. Space for a double allocated. Space for a double allocated. What happened here? Here we declare the variable pointer, means we can use to point to a memory space, and then after pointing, declaring this pointer, we reserved the space. We finally, خلاص, there is an empty space for a double has been reserved. If this statement here did not happen, see the not here, exclamation mark. If this statement did not happen, this message would be displayed. Yet نحن we got this message, which is this message means this statement happened. Yes, pointer received the new double. So the else happened, not this one. Execute it, please. And if you have any questions, you raise up, please. إذا في أسئلة.
Mister, I get
Error?
output set. Yes.
You got an error?
No, I get same output.
Same output. That's great. That's great. And the others?
Finish, Mr.
So no errors for everybody, I believe. Thank you very much. So that's great. Let's pass to question number 7. Question number 7. Create a C++ program to allocate a block of memory now. A block of memory space for a double value also, for a double value. He's explained to us block of memory means initialized value. Block of memory means initialized value. Very easy. So we are not allocating space. He's not asking us to allocate space, but block space in memory. It means we are going to allocate specific value, specific space for a specific value, no more, no less. Is it clear? And I'm going to change this double, let it be any other data type. I'm going to use, for example, int. I'm modifying the question. Let it be for an int. Let's do the thing for an int, because ليس شرط, it's not mandatory to be for a double. They are just, here we are related to the questions only, but if it is another data type, absolutely possible. So I'm going to allocate a block of space in memory for an int. For an int. That's great. Let's do that. So I'm going to declare the int pointer. I'm going to change the name. Let's say I'm going to leave this thing like it is. No, I'm going to declare again. I'm going to change this full program. Int. Let's do it together in order to make you understand more. Int, I'm going to say p. Pointer. Okay, let it be the name p. No worries. Okay, خلاص I declared one pointer من نوع int. Okay, so I'm gonna allocate the memory. I'm gonna say p equals new int, full stop. That's it. Compile, execute. Yes, nothing happened, so no errors at all. So everything is very fine. There is no error. Let's make the test. Since he's asking us to allocate only, I'm gonna start with if not allocated. What if not happening? This statement. If this statement is not happening, this statement p equal new int. If it's not happening, and between two curly braces, I'm gonna make an output cout less than int space is not, let me write it in capital, not allocated. Great, is not allocated. Less than and L. Great. Else cout memory space allocated. Great. Less than is an and L. That's great. Good. Return 0. I'll return 0. This is simple. This is simple memory allocation. This is a memory allocation. But he's asking us to do a block of space, means specific value. So I'm not gonna pass an int here, but I'm gonna an int in between a specific number. For example, 5 or for example 10, any number. من نوع int. So I'm initializing the p with a 10, and the space would be allocated for such value. It's a block for this dedicated value. Let's execute. See the errors. If you have memory space allocated, done. Memory space allocated. This message has been happened. What does it mean? Means this block, this statement has been executed. What I'm highlighting now, it is not errored. It is correct. It happened correctly. So this block did not happen, but this one happened. Means this is validated. We allocated a block space for the number 10. Execute it, please. And if you have any questions raised, and if you have any errors, also share your screen with me.
Mister, I get same out.
That's great. What about the others? The others, did you get the same output?
Yes, Mr.
That's great. Aziza, did you get the same output, ya Aziza?
Yes, Mr.
That's great. Jawahar. Jawahar, did you get the same output, ya Jawahar? معنا يا جواهر ولا لستي معنا؟ جواهر السؤال لك. سارة, did you get the same output يا سارة?
Yes, Doctor.
That's great. شذاء.
Yes, doctor.
أصيلة. أصيلة, are you here or not?
Yes, Mr. I get.
Great. Jawahar, did you get the same output or not? نعم.
Yes,
What?
Mr.
That's great. I hope so. Question number how much? Number 8. The last one.
مستر ما يسدنا.
ألوف تو آخر تمرين. إيش يسدنا ما يسدنا؟ تو آخر تمرين خلاص نخلص هذا إن شاء الله. آخر تمرين. لاحظوا اللي في أشياء كثيرة تتكرر داخل التمارين، يعني ما يمثل صعوبة في الفهم فيما بعد لما تراجعوا لن يمثل إشكالية في الفهم. أو لما نكرر التمرين هذا لا يعني أنه هذا جديد. No. نطبق التمرين مرة ثانية مع اختلاف بسيط. يعني لما تفهم هذاك التمرين الأول الثاني ما يكون عندك بسيط في فهمه، فما يمثل الكثرة لن تمثل الإشكال. إضافات بسيطة ولكن باختصار لازم تفهم الفرق. التمرين الأخير الثامن number 8 is asking us to create C++ program, yes, to allocate a block of memory space of a size given, actually of a size number n, or let's say of a specific size, no more or less. We are not going to we are going to actually allocate the space for a specific size. It's dedicated. It means like the block. We allocated the space for a specific number, but here for an n numbers. Not only for one number, not for n numbers. Clear? Yes or no?
No, Mr. Again.
Means the question here is asking us to allocate space of memory for n spaces. Block of memory, the task number 7 اللي حليناها من شوي. The block of memory means we're going to specify a number, and for that number, sorry, a value, not a number, because it might be char or string, a value, and for that value, we allocate the space. This is said block of memory allocation. In this task now, number 8, we are required to allocate n positions, n numbers, n values. For example, 5 values, or 50 value, or 10 values, or 7 values. 7 spaces means in memory, or 20 n نعوضها ب متعدد many spaces in memory. How many؟ حسب ال n، إذا 5 أو 50 أو 10 أو 1 أو 7 أو 80 أو whatever, any number. Spaces in memory, spaces in memory, n spaces in memory. So we're going to allocate n blocks, no more no less. متعدد. Let's do that. You'll understand more. So this program here will modify it, but you see the modification what would look like. So I'm going to delete all. I'm going to declare an int. He's saying, did he specify the data type? No, he did not. So let's keep it int, for example. Yes, let it be int, no worries. Int, yes, int p, then I'm going to declare the int size equals, for example, 5, for example. Then p equals new من نوع int لكن it's an array. Here, see, array الحجم ماله كم؟ size. Let me call it. See what I wrote right now. See what I wrote. I declare the point. I declare the size, a variable متغيرة. Then I allocated space اسمه p. The space is for size positions من نوع int. I re-say the thing in English fully. I declared a pointer, which is actually pointing to a space in the memory, and we declared a variable type int. Then we allocated a space, 5 spaces actually, which is size spaces, typed int, nominated p, drew this pointer. So we have, actually, since the size is equal 5, we have 5 int spaces allocated in memory pointed by p. Very easy. Let's test, execute. Nothing, no errors, no errors. Let's do our test to get the output. The test here, we'll do it here. If not this one, we delete the semicolon. If not executed, curly brace, cout, simply, cout less than. Blocks were not allocated, for example, less than, it's an endl. Good. Else, I'm going to say cout. Yes, here it's allocated. Blocks are allocated. Yes, exclamation mark, less than, it's endl. That's great. Then the famous return 0. We are inside the int. Execute. Blocks are allocated. From where this message? From here. If I change, for example, anything, I'm going to change this int, for example, to double. It will give me an error. Whatever, I change this double. I mean, this block will not be executed. Yes, an error. We cannot change and convert double to int and into double, something like that. So let's turn it back. Program works very fine. Execute. That's it. Blocks are allocated. That's great. That's great. So please execute this program, and this is the last thing we see today. Unless you have any issues, please raise up. Otherwise, that's all.